Finally, our last movie for this week, at least what Eric and I are going to cover. Also, Bruce Perky is going to have another movie, which we're going to mention in a second. There's a
I got one more
movie.
too. One
Oh, you
more
got one
too.
more? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I pushed it 2 weeks in a row. This is the week to talk about Amro Heist, but we'll
Okay.
wait till after this next
Okay.
one.
No worries on that. So, for To Kill a Wolf, this is a movie that's very interesting. It opens nationwide in a theatrical tour, Eric. We don't get these theatrical tours too much. First up, it's going to be opening on Friday at New York's Regal Union Square Stadium. That's on August 1st. And then throughout the month, it will have rollouts in different cities. To Kill a Wolf centers in
Dun,
the.
dun,
Wait,
dun. Oh, roll out.
okay, roll out. Okay, so it's
Eh,
on the fringes
Sorry.
of the Oregon wilderness. Two strangers are brought together when a reclusive woodsman, played by Ivan Martin, he discovers a teenage runaway, and that is Danny, played by Madison Brown. She is hypothermic and she's barely conscious in the woods. Again, this woodsman, played by Ivan Martin, he doesn't really. He's for some reason he's closed off, and he lives in a house out in the middle of nowhere, out in the forest. And he sees this girl, Danny. She's hypothermic and she's barely conscious. She's in the woods, and he brings her back to his cabin. He nurses her back basically overnight. She gets better, and he saves her. He by saving basically he saves her life, and he wants to know what's going on with this young girl, this teenager. And for some reason, Danny is still secretive. She's not giving him the full story. And all that said, even though she's not giving him the full story, the woodsman begrudgingly agrees to help her out through her journey. And then during this journey, they forge a very interesting bond, and you learn about each of their respective pasts, and possibly will this reclusive woodsman and this troubled teenage runaway, will they become friends? Will they develop a bond? Will they help each other? It's very interesting to see these two strangers possibly bond or maybe not. This movie is, I forgot to put the director's name. It's Kelsey. I think is it Kelsey Taylor? I could be completely wrong on that. Eric Holmes. If you
Yes, Kelsey Taylor wrote and directed
wrote
this.
and direct. This is one of these movies.
And by the way, unlike She Rides Shotgun, no notes on the screenplay on this one.
Very good, Eric
Kelsey
Holmes.
Taylor is as good of a writer as they are a director, as far as I can tell.
And I want to say this: if you're thinking indie drama, and if it's going to be playing in your theater, your neck of the woods, why should I see this indie drama in my local theater? It's
Because
set
it
in the.
looks amazing.
Eric just interjected and he said the right thing. It looks amazing. It's set in the Oregon wilderness. It's beautiful to look at. You feel like you're there. And for I don't know how much money she had, but wow.
I guess it bad CGI lasers coming out of their eyes makes it more appealing to watch it in the theater, maybe, but holy crap, this movie looks good.
For me,
I'm looking at the trailer like without sound, just the trailer playing right now. I'm like, oh God, look at that.
good performances, very good performances all around by Ivan Martin as the woodsman. Madison Brown's wonderful as Danny. By the way, Madison Brown, Eric, she's Australian. Isn't that crazy? Oh,
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
she nailed the accent.
She definitely nailed the accent. So my rate, I'll get to my rating in a second, but let's get to Eric's review of To Kill a Wolf. I was immersed in this from the get-go. Works as a family drama, works as an immersive mystery on who are these people, where are they from, and it just there's some genre elements to Kill a Wolf. Okay, so just on a pickup on To Kill a Wolf, yeah, it's just an immersive drama. I really loved every second of it. Great performances. What about you, Eric Holmes? What's your review of To Kill a Wolf?
My review is great. Go see it, and I want to talk spoilers. So let's move. I'll give you a look. First, give props to Adam Lee, the cinematographer, because again, this movie did look amazing. Props to Dawson Taylor, the editor. This normal movies like this would be 2 hours long, and needlessly 2 hours long. They got this down to a little over an hour and a half. You mentioned I think it was on the Patreon maybe, or you were talking about I was talking about meandering, and then I think you pointed to this one, but this
Yes.
doesn't meander because what are you going to clip? What are you going to cut from this? Like it just goes from one instance to the other. It's definitely feels like a slower movie, but you're constantly getting information. There's constantly something happening.
Flashbacks are necessary here. The flashbacks are not extraneous. They build.
Yeah,
They're well done. Flashbacks are well
yeah,
done here.
and like when you're looking at Danny just sit there and stare, it's after she just got information, so you can imagine what's going through her head. It's not just her staring at a wall because we had her staring at the wall in that room, so let's have her stare at the wall in this room. Like the the air quotes slow parts or the extraneous parts, air quotes also, is the you're watching the character react to what they just found out or the new information they got or someone asks them a question, you know the answer, and you're seeing them try to decide whether or not they want to say it or not. Like these are not. This is not the movie wasting time. This is the movie. This is the character development that people say when a movie's taken forever. It's like character development. This is what they should mean by that. What they usually mean is, oh, them staring at the out a window for half hour is character development. No, that's bad filmmaking. This does not have that. This is great editing. So wanted to, yeah, give props to Adam Lee, the cinematographer, and Dawson Taylor, the editor, and of course the writer director Kelsey Taylor for making a certainly an introspective movie,
Yes.
an absolutely gorgeous movie, and a movie that moves at a clip, even though it's a lot quieter than you might think when someone says a movie moves at a clip.
And it doesn't have Hollywood flourishes, Hollywood storytelling where you over emote or you overwrite or
Yeah.
you want to bang the drum on a certain beat,
Yes.
Eric. It feels like the dialogue feels more like it comes out of real life in real situations there as opposed to a memorable Hollywood moment, which I found to be very interesting.
But like there was a part where I can't remember the line exactly, but it was something along the lines of they started a sentence, bailed on the sentence, and then just ended with, and they do.
Yeah.
And in the Hollywood, they would explain everything and end with,
With
which
a
is kind
with
of
a
like what I just did right there.
with a huge beat. Yeah, with a
Yeah.
huge beat. Hit you over the
We,
head with it.
we gotta make sure they understand what the character is saying. It's like, no, we got it. Ow, stop.
And this is actually one of those movies which is really good at it's what they don't say that
Yes.
really fills the space
It's
really
like
well.
understand Brian loved to say about jazz. It's about the notes you don't play.
It's about the notes you don't play. And yeah, I'm a huge jazz fan, but this to me is just all that said. The warning is if you want to actually be hit over the head with a lot of
There
emotion. Oh,
there's actually a trigger warning, but it's
yeah, you
well,
want to
we'll
mention the
say
trick?
well, no, because that
What?
there's some personal things that have if you have
Oh,
trauma and if you have personal trauma in your life and that's a trigger for you, do not watch this movie.
okay, right.
I would say that movie it doesn't lean on that very hard. Like it doesn't beat you over the head with it because it's pretty subtle about what it is. But if you're at all triggered by any sort of like a family sort of trauma,
That's very
maybe skip this one. You got enough of it in real life. You don't need it in the movie.
it's nuanced there. It's nuanced
Yeah,
storytelling,
very much.
but the stuff that they're telling the story about is can be
And this is the thing. This is the
devastating.
stuff that's like, no, it is. But this is also the part that I really love about the movie, especially with how they handled it.
Oh my God.
And we can't talk about it.
That's
You
the
you
way.
just gotta watch the movie and find that part out. But it was handled so brilliantly in this movie that
Yeah.
I kind of wonder, since Kelsey Taylor wrote and directed this, I wonder if they've went through some of this before.
I hope not.
Because
I hope
this doesn't like the Hollywood version of what happened looks much like night and day different than what they did here. Like
right.
the way they handled it here was like you said, nuanced, very subtle, but still. I'll stop talking about it. It's just
I
not
will
relevant.
just say some of the characterizations in this movie, without giving too much away, there would be some character plot points in the person's backstory that
Yeah.
would not have been in a Hollywood movie and handled that way. And it's even some people who will watch this will be triggered because
Oh,
they're going
you're
to say,
okay. And this is another cool part about the movie. I think you're talking about a different character than I am.
"Oh no, I am, I am," and we're gonna get
But
to the
that
spoilers.
also illustrates like how good this movie is that they can have all those sort of layers to it and then just not and like you were saying doesn't beat you over the head with it, but it's
Yeah,
still effective.
I'm gonna say this. After this conversation, To Kill a Wolf is very immersive. Visuals are on point. The acting by Madison and Ivan Martin and Madison Brown, fantastic. I was gonna go 4.5 stars with this. I'm giving it 5 stars just because of its gutsiness, because of its lack of flourish, meaning the lack of fat on it. It's a very lean, mean narrative, but it's also
Yeah.
nuanced, and it's just. You mentioned earlier in our Patreon talk and chat about poetic flourishes of something like Paris, Texas, I think in this movie's quietness and in its solitude and its execution, there is a lot of poetry amidst the trauma in To Kill a Wolf. 5 stars for me. I gotta say, 5 stars for me for To Kill a
Well,
Wolf.
I would say when I mention poetic flourishes, I'm talking about like things that happen in the narrative of the movie that's not actually happening in the narrative.
Fair, yeah.
The stuff that's happening is like a metaphor for what's actually happening. This is pretty straightforward about what it is. So I wouldn't say it has a poetic flourish, but it's hard to say it doesn't with the cinematography that looks that good.
And it says here, I guess the thing also, it was a modern day quote on the summary of reimagining of the Little
Yeah,
Red Riding Hood story, but
I
you don't
I
even have
I,
to
I
know
could
that. You
I
know,
think that feels like a hook to get people into it. And
yeah,
there's certainly Red Riding Hood iconography with the red hoodie and going to grandma's house and the woodsman and all that, but I think this works without the Red Riding Hood nonsense to
hook.
it.
Yeah,
Not the within the movie it's not nonsense, but you don't need that hook to bring you in.
fair. Yeah, you
Or
don't.
you might need that hook to bring you in, but once you watch the movie, we just now brought up the Red Riding Hood thing.
Yeah,
That was
it's
like
a,
one of the that was like one of the top things when they're describing the movie. I think it's a cool like oh it's a retelling of Red Riding Hood. That's a cool in.
yeah,
Not nearly the most interesting thing about this movie.
right.
There's so much more to love about it.
It's also cool in because the title To Kill a Wolf is very eye catching. It's a good title.
Yeah.
But you don't.
I think of it like when Scream came out. Scream, who's on the front of every poster? Drew Barrymore. Scream, starring Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore dies in the first 5 minutes of the movie. It's no
Right.
longer in the movie. I got you into Scream, but that's not the reason you go to it.
That's right.
You go to Scream because even with the main star dying almost immediately, you get the rest of the movie. It's like, well, that sucks that she died. Oh, but the movie's still great. So now I don't care. That's kind of the little Oh, this is a remake of Red Riding Hood. Cool. I'll go watch it. You watch it and it's like maybe I guess I can see where he came up with that, but you know what? I don't care because this is the movie. It's good enough on its own.
I hope this movie doesn't get buried, bro. I hope this movie
It
finds
will.
it.
It's unfortunate. It will, but
I hope it finds an
I'm right
audience.
there. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Okay.
This and Main Story, they're movies where it's like, and we say this far too often. It's like this movie's so good, but who's gonna watch it?
Mm.
It's gonna get out. It's gonna get buried. And the cool thing about we don't know if it's movies like this because it hasn't been out yet. So maybe it'll hit. We don't know. But once in a while, one of my friends on Facebook put up a thing about She Is Conan. Like,
Mm.
holy crap, where did this movie come from? It was just like raving about She Is Conan. That was the movie we covered on here. Is Bertrand Mandico also did The Wild Boys and After Blue. A great filmmaker, great makes awesome movies.
Yeah.
Maybe not for everyone, that's fine. But so we talked about She Is Conan, doesn't really do anything, kind of disappears, and then just all of a sudden, someone's like, "Hey, She Is Conan." It's like, oh crap, someone watched that. That's cool. I don't think you, Damien. I don't think you watch it because of us. I think because it sounded like you just found it on accident. But To Kill a Wolf, like, hopefully it does well. If it doesn't, I look forward to the day where it just disappears, and then just out of nowhere, like someone's like, "Dude, I saw this movie called To Kill a Wolf. Holy crap!" And we're like, "Oh, they found it. Hell yes."
I hope that happens. I hope bottom line is no matter what they find it, this movie gets found out.
Yeah.
To Kill a Wolf again.
I mean,
5 stars.
Fantastic Four, cool seeing Galactus, Superman, cool watching Superman punch things. Solely Made Story and To Kill a Wolf. Definitely go watch the Supermans and the Fantastic Fours because those movies need to do well too because that's what brings in the general audience. But if these movies are planned, go watch them too. As much as like the Fantastic Fours and Supermans of the world like feed the box office, To Kill a Wolf and Solely Made Story, these are the salt and pepper. The Fantastic Four and Superman's the steak.
Yep.
But the steak ain't nothing if you don't put salt and pepper on it. This is pretty bland. Yeah, you need that. You need the Kill Wolves and the Solely Made Stories to kind of spice up the theaters.
So that is your rating on To
And they
Kill a
probably
Wolf.
won't even play in most theaters, which is so annoying.
We will
No,
make sure
I'm
to
5 stars on this. Easy.
five stars from me and Eric Holmes for To Kill a Wolf. Yes. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.